So welcome everyone to our Gita Gyan Level 2, Chapter 5. Let's take darshan of the deities. These are the deities of ISKCON Seberang Jaya, Sri Sri Radha Krishna Kanaya. We proceed with our prayers to the spiritual teachers. Please join me. Om Jnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Salakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Namo Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvisesha Sunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna everyone. Krishna Krishna
Krishna Hare Hare
Hare Ram,
Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare.
That's it. Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. So let's start by reading some extract from In the Understanding of Gita. Okay, let me try to see who can go first. Param Prabhu.
Yes, Mataji.
You like
Want me
to
to
read?
read?
Yeah.
Out of so many understanding of Gita, out of so many humans beings who are suffering, there are few who are actually inquiring about their position as to what they are, why they are put into this awkward position, and so on. Unless one is awakened to this position of questioning, is suffering, unless he realizes that he doesn't want suffering, but rather wants to make a solution to all suffering, then one has to be not to be considered a perfect human being. Humanity begins when this sort of inquiry is awakened in one's mind. In the Brahma Sutra, this inquiry is called Brahma Jinasa Atto. Brahma Jinasa. Every activity of the human being is to be considered a failure unless he inquires about the nature of the absolute. Therefore, those who begin to question why they are suffering or where they come from and where they shall go after that are proper students for the understanding of Bhagavad Gita. The sincere student should also have a firm respect for the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Such a student was Arjuna.
Right. Thank you, Prabhu. So very important points here from this extract. So when the actual meaning of human comes, when does it come? When are we actually called a human?
When we ask question who we are.
Who we are, what else?
Why suffering?
Yes, why are we suffering? What else from this paragraph? What else can you extract?
We come from and where we are going.
Where we come from, where we are going. Okay. Inquire about the, yes. Basically, the Vedas say Atato Brahma Jijnasa means inquiring into the absolute. So what comes under this? Questioning who am I? Where I came from? Why am I suffering? Okay, so additional from here is where are we going further? Okay, so there are three important questions. Okay, this will be covered in level 3. Okay, so this is a glimpse of what is in level 3. And so until and unless we come to this stage to question, then we are not a proper student of Bhagavad Gita yet. Otherwise, we are just learning for some extra knowledge or for some academic knowledge. Okay, so that will not be the full or perfect knowledge. Okay, so entire Bhagavad Gita will be filled with various questions from Arjuna. So Arjuna is asking a lot of questions. So that's why he is called such a good student. Such a student was Arjuna, right? Okay, so we move on. So this is about inquiring. Inquiring is very important. Why we are suffering, where we come from, where shall we go after that? Okay, so very important. We need to recap chapter 4. It's been few weeks already, so I wonder if you all the memories are still fresh in you. Okay, so what is the title of chapter 4? It's all Buka notes, all Buka Bhagavad Gita, whatever notes you have, please open up.
Transcendental knowledge.
Transcendental knowledge.
Transcendental knowledge.
Okay, all right. So now the important question is, why Krishna gave this knowledge?
Because each yuga the real knowledge is been slowly disappearing, and some people start using for their own selfishness.
Okay, very good, Prabhu. So that is the essence of it. Okay, let's open up the section one by one. So first, Krishna gave some knowledge about him, the history of Bhagavad Gita. What can you all remember from those segments? What did we learn under this segment? Try to recall from your own memory before you refer to the notes. If you really give up, then you can open up, but try. Because this segment is very easy.
When the first Bhagavad Gita been introduced to around 12 million years ago to sun god.
Okay, so that is origin of Bhagavad Gita. Okay, 120 million years ago, Krishna delivered divine knowledge to Lord, Sun Lord. Okay, that's one, history of Bhagavad Gita. Number two, what is the qualification of the receiver? What kind of person is receiving this Bhagavad Gita here? Do you all remember? Because Krishna declared it. Text 3. Please somebody read from chapter 4.
That very ancient science of the relationship with the Supreme is today told by me to you because you are my devotee as well as my friend. Therefore, you can understand the transcendental mystery of the science.
Okay, very good. So these are the qualification of the receiver. And then we learned about Guru Parampara. Okay, and then Krishna gave some reasons for his appearance and his disappearance, his activities. The benefit of those understanding these topics is that we are liberated. Okay, where can we find this verse? Ni macam soalan cepu mas ni. Okay, tell me from which verse can we get this answer, this information? One who knows the birth and activities of Krishna is liberated. Please read that verse. No, not that early. It's much later. Okay, please read, Prabhu.
Yes, Mataji, 4.9, is it?
Mm-hmm.
In 4.9 translation, one who knows the transcendental nature of my appearance and activities does not upon leaving the body, takes his birth again in this material world, but attains my eternal abode, O Arjuna.
Okay, so a very important point. Okay, so this one is very familiar, right? It's not very difficult. Okay, these are facts. So please remember these. Okay, next. This is, we're going to go a little deeper, okay? Application of the knowledge. All right, so here, if you see knowledge of about Krishna 4.1 to 4.10, there were only 2 verses skipped in our level 2. The rest of it we covered in the lesson. Okay, application of knowledge, 11 to 15, we covered two slokas. All right, now what comes under this topic is this. Hold on, yeah. Okay, so now in chapter 4, 4.11, let's see 4.11. Okay, please read 4.11, someone.
Yes, Mataji. All of them as they surrender unto me, I reward accordingly. Everyone follows my path in all respects, O son of Partha.
Okay, so in this segment, Krishna has actually started to say that I reward everyone according to the level of the surrender. So in another way, Krishna also says that whatever fruits that you're working for, you will get it accordingly. So I've got nothing to do with it. Okay, I've got nothing to do with it. So what happens to those people who have some amount of faith in Krishna, but they still have other material desires, some faith in God, but they still have material desires. For this to cultivate detachment in them, Krishna created Varna Ashrama so that they can gradually detach themselves. Okay, so they can engage in their work. At the same time, they can gradually detach themselves. So he has created this Varna Ashrama. But Krishna is not inside the Varna Ashrama. He is outside. Okay, he can be the lawmaker. The law is not applicable to him. All right, so in this way, Krishna is neutral and he sanctions all the rewards that we are supposed to get based on our work. All right, and he awards the fruits according to the living entity's desire and past deeds. So if we can understand Krishna in this way, we can keep ourselves away from material bondage. Okay, so not only Krishna is above this Varnasrama, above this material bondage, but if we understand Krishna in this way, we can also transcend all these divisions. So that is the essence of this segment 2. Okay, so now we move to segment 3. So this is a revision, yeah. Okay, this is recap, so you all have to read. Okay. Okay, so next one, work in knowledge. This is akarma. Akarma means? Akarma means? No reaction. Yeah, okay, no reaction. So what kind of activity will give no reaction? Pure devotion. So Prabhu knows already what question going to come already. Okay, so one. So remember this tagline, seeing action in inaction and inaction in action. While we are acting, we are working, but actually we are not working. So this is what? What is this? Inaction in action. Is this karma or akarma? This is akarma. Very good. Action in inaction means, how can you explain this? Remember, we gave an example where you sit without doing anything because you think renunciation is the best way of life and you don't want to do anything, but you don't know how many ants are you sitting on, you're stepping on, you're breathing and killing. So these are all seemingly we are in inaction, but we are doing actions. So action in inaction and inaction in action. So this is the knowledge under this segment. Okay, akarma refers to action without reactions. And such actions are on absolute platform. Okay, all right, so that is knowledge. The last one, actually, I think, yeah, this is actually segment 5, because segment 4 we did not cover in level 2. All right, so this one is also a simple segment, the need of guru. Okay, how to approach your guru, what should we do? So can we recap something from that? Can somebody say something from this segment? Need for guru. The guru topic, what did we learn?
Guru must come from the parampara system.
Very good. Next.
Need fully surrender.
Okay, can you give me a bit more details, Prabhu, from the verses that we covered?
From verses.
Yes. Which verse is that? Dasaradan Prabhu? Please put the verse number. Okay. So Vijay Prabhu, you can refer to 434 and tell us, share with us.
Just try to learn the truth by approaching a spiritual master. Inquiry from him submissively and render service unto him. The self-realized soul can impact knowledge onto you because he has been truth.
Okay, because they have seen the truth. So what are the important points? Dasaratham Prabhu, you all can refer to the comment box. Dasaratham Prabhu has put it for us. Inquire from the Guru submissively. We render service unto him. So this is the process. All right. And no matter how sinful a person can be, once we are on this boat, then we are sure to be on our way to be freed from miseries. So this is the summum bonum of chapter 4. Okay. So we move on. Okay, so our topic today is, remember chapter 3 was Karma Yoga. So basically the knowledge in Karma Yoga was about doing work without attachment to the results, to be freed from our karmic reactions. And then in chapter 4, Krishna gives more. At the end of chapter 3, Krishna concluded the chapter 3 by saying, surrender the results unto me. Now, before you remember the example that I give you, you are handling some amount of money and you know that is not yours. It is belong to some authority or the actual owner of it. Now, how do you find the owner? You need to get the knowledge about the owner so you can verify this is the place I should submit the result, the money. All right. So now chapter 4 serves that purpose to tell us who is the person that we need to surrender the results to. Okay, first you detach from the results, yes. And then the result, you have to give it to the owner, the rightful owner. So now in chapter 4, we already know who is the owner. And then now we're going to combine that work with detachment to the result and in Krishna consciousness. So can you see that the formula, chapter 3 plus 4, you get chapter 5. Okay, so this is where we're going to dive more deeper. Okay, so to compare level 1 and level 2, as you can see, we have only few additional verses, but what I have prepared is some verses I will go in deeper. Okay, some simple verses, those we have selected our friends to explain. After they finish their understanding, I will explain a bit more. Okay, so you can just take note of that. So you can see these verses we are not touching. Yeah, these sections we are not touching. So this is to inspire you to read on your own. So if you think there are missing links here and there, it means you need to read on your own. All right, so you'll remember more. All right, so this is our overview. As usual, again, this chapter is beginning with a question from Arjuna, because sometimes the beginning of the chapter comes with a question from Arjuna and then Krishna explains. Okay, so these are the overview. Arjuna will start by asking, which is better, renunciation or work with detachment? All right, and how to perform this Nishkama Karma Yoga. So these are related. Segment 3, we are not touching for level 2. And we will go to how to achieve liberation by focusing on the super soul. What kind of person can achieve liberation when we focus on the super soul? Or rather, how by focusing on super soul, we can achieve liberation. All right. And then liberation through Astanga Yoga, we are not covering as well. Okay, let's move here. Oh yeah, finally, peace on the platform liberation. This is where we come to the famous peace formula. Okay. So starting with question from Arjuna, what is better? Arjuna, Krishna. So can we have next person to read? Somasundram Prabhu. Prabhu, you are there?
Yes, Mataji.
Translation.
Yeah.
Prabhu.
Arjuna said, "O Krishna, first of all, you ask me to renounce work, and then again you recommend work with devotion. Now will you kindly tell me definitely which of the two is more beneficial?"
Okay, thank you, Prabhu. All right, so you can see there's a similarity between this question and the question Arjuna asked in chapter 3. Can somebody tell me? Can read for me? Can we have somebody else to read? I want to hear from someone. with Bhagavad Gita. Did you all bring Bhagavad Gita with you? I want to hear 3.1.
Yes, Mataji.
Okay, Vijay Prabhu. Again, you. Okay, Prabhu, read. 3.1.
Arjuna said, O Janardana, O Kesava, why do you urge me to engage in this ghastly warfare? If you think that intelligence is better than fruitive work.
Okay, thank you, Prabhu. So here, Arjuna is questioning Krishna. If you think intelligence is better, why you want me to go on killing? Then Krishna explains, right? Okay, this killing is actually not for your sense gratification because dharma has to be uprighted, and you just do your work without being attached to the result. Okay, now again, 5.1, Arjuna is asking this question. First, you ask me to renounce because later on Krishna said, keep away from abominable activities, right? So Arjuna thought, okay, if I'm going to use my intelligence and avoid abominable activities, then I should not engage in war. Okay, but Krishna said you should engage, but with detached consciousness. Okay, and then this question is, first of all, you ask me to renounce work. Renounce work means, Arjuna, actually there is a misunderstanding here. And it is Krishna's arrangement that Arjuna to remain confused. Okay, and this is how Krishna fine-tune the information. He polishes this information. Okay, so hold on, yeah. Okay, his misunderstanding about the information on the part of Arjuna is this. Arjuna appears not to have understood that work in full knowledge is non-reactive. He misunderstood. Okay, work means you can work, but working in such a way, it's going to be non-reactive. Okay, and is therefore the same as inaction. He didn't understand that. To him, if you work, you're going to have reactions. Okay, if you want inaction, then you should not do work at all. And then suddenly he's saying, oh, then you want me to work with devotion. Isn't that is also working? I'm also using my senses. I'm also moving about. So how can this be differentiated? How can I distinguish this? To me, it's the same. Okay. To him, it's like contradictory. Sorry, it's contradictory. So now he's asking which will be more beneficial. Renounce the work entirely or work with devotion. So you can see how Arjuna is helping us to fine-tune the understanding on this topic. Okay, so okay, there are a couple of points here. Let me see here. Okay, I think we can proceed. Let's see what Krishna is explaining. 5.2, can we have some Kritika Mataji?
The personality of Godhead replied, the renunciation of work and work in devotion are both good for liberation. But of the two, work in devotional service is better than renunciation of work.
Okay, here Krishna is stating clearly, renunciation of work and working with devotion, they are both good. Okay, both is going to help you. But the point here Krishna is making is that which is going to be easier or better for us. Okay, because working in devotion is easier than giving up work. So I know a person who has actually retired long ago, and they actually don't need any money to survive themselves, to survive the children and so on. But when we question why are you still working, they said, if I don't work, what will I do? Okay, even if you have no need to work, we still want to do something. We still want to be engaged in something. Okay, if I don't work, what I'll do? So this is the question they pose. All right. So now, if we do not have purified our heart and we stop working prematurely, it is not going to be as simple as that. We're going to keep thinking, what should I do? What's going to happen? You're going to be anxious about a lot of things. So you cannot sit still. Okay. So it is better and easier and quicker for liberation if we continue to work, and that too working in devotion, which is working for the pleasure of Krishna, because it's going to give you akarma. I mean, it's not going to give you any reactions, and you're not going to be worried about good or bad thing that's going to come out from that activity. And you're going to do it for the pleasure of Krishna. Therefore, liberation is assured. Okay, so this way it is this information is to prove that we cannot stay without working. So it's better to do work in devotion rather than not working at all. That will be easier. Okay, so that is the point. Okay, let's move on. These are all revision topics, you know. Okay, 5.6. Lakshmi Mataji.
Merely renouncing all activities, yet not engaging in the devotional service of the Lord, cannot make one happy. But a thoughtful person engaged in devotional service can achieve the supreme without delay.
Okay, thank you, Mataji. So you can see here two different people in renounced mode of life. One renounced, okay, you can look at the brahmacharis, yeah. Brahmacharis are those who have actually renounced their material engagements. Of course, the one higher is sannyasis. The one in white, they are still, maybe they could be grahasthas, or okay. And then we have one as like a sage here, ascetic, we call it ascetic, right? Ascetic man. Okay, he is also renounced. He would have retired to some mountains or caves. So he is basically sitting and doing nothing. And here you have renounced devotees who are renounced, materially renounced, but they seemingly still engage in material activities. But whatever they are doing, whether they are selling books, they are selling paraphernalias, they're seeking donations or whatsoever, they are still dealing with money, they are still dealing with a lot of people, but eventually the results are for the pleasure of Krishna. Okay, so here Krishna is supporting that by merely renouncing all your activity, it is not going to give you happiness. Okay, right? You can give up your work, but you won't be happy. You won't know what to do with yourself. Whereas when you're engaged in devotional service, you will feel happy. In the process itself, you will feel happy. You will feel peaceful. We will be able to achieve the supreme goal of life. So engaging in service is better than giving up the work altogether. Because the work in material world is all about making money, creating name, fame, and glory, about making a living. And in all this process, a lot of things is involved. Okay, a lot of miseries, anxiety, stress, all these are involved. On top of that, we are getting karma for the continuous engagement in these material activities. So when you keep getting karma, you're going to keep getting entangled in that work and in that life because of the fruits of the work, because they are binding. Okay, so if you keep going on in this circle, it is not going to help us to get out of this material world. It's going to keep, we have to keep coming back and suffer due to our reactions to our different activities. And the best part, we will not know what's going to happen to us in the next birth. We won't know where are we going to be, how we're going to be taking birth, in what kind of form of life, in what kind of situation, what will be our consciousness. Okay, so like this, you cannot prematurely renounce and sit and do nothing. You have to keep engaging in service. At least this can influence your future. Okay, all right. So when we do work for Krishna, then it helps us to go back to Krishna in next life. I mean, that much we can actually try. Okay, because Krishna already say Neha Bikrama Nasosti, meaning whatever activity in Krishna consciousness you have done, and then you leave your body, when you come back, you're going to continue from that stage. You're not going to start all over. It's not going to, Krishna promised this. You will start from where you left. You're not going to start all over again. So that is a specialty in this work. This spiritual work, this is the difference compared to being engaged in material work. Okay, so the pleasure in this lifestyle, you can feel the pleasure in this life and in the next life as well. Okay, so when we are continuously engaged in material activities, it's going to bring us a lot of problems, miseries, and issues. Okay, so these are the two kind of people that we already see. Okay, next. So yeah, these are the two types of renounced people. Okay, so about this renunciation, I'm going to bring in a verse from Srimad Bhagavatam. This is by, actually, this verse is actually in Nectar of Devotion, originally said by Rupa Goswami, and Prabhupada also quoted this in Bhagavatam. Can somebody read this? Sivaranjani Mataji.
Okay, Mataji. Rupa Goswami advises that if one renounces anything which could be applied in the service of the Lord and does not use it for the purpose, that is called Palgu Vairagya, insufficient or false renunciation. Everything belongs to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, therefore, everything can be engaged in the service of the Lord. Nothing should be used for one's sense gratification.
Okay, thank you, Mataji. So there are
Thank you.
two points here. Rupa Goswami is saying, okay, one is here, the below one here. Whatever we have in our hand, okay, whether you're working or you're dealing with a lot of material things in your hand, if you do not use it for Krishna consciousness, and if you use it for sense gratification, that is going to create bondage. So if you do not use whatever inside in your hand in Krishna consciousness, then that is a waste. Okay, so you cannot give up the material things in your life, in your hand, saying that I want to renounce myself. I don't want to have to do anything with anything material in this world. I don't want to do anything with it. Okay, I've got no business with it. I have no attachment, no ties whatsoever. But the intelligence is using whatever you have in your hand in Krishna consciousness. Okay, so if you have all these facilities in your hand around you and you do not use it for Krishna consciousness or God service or spiritual activities, then it is called Palgu Vairagya. Okay, it is called Palgu Vairagya, means false renunciation or insufficient renunciation. This is not enough. Your renunciation is not enough because you have facilities that can be used in spiritual activities, but you're not using it. Okay, right. So why it's called Palgu? Palgu is a place. It's actually a river. Originally it was a river. Okay, but now if you look from far, it's in Gaya. Okay, it's from far it looks like a land because at the top it's mud, and you keep digging for 2 to 3 feet, then you'll have water coming up. So actually, if you're going to walk on it thinking it's a solid land, then you're going to sink inside. So actually, it is not what it seems like. So that is Palgu Vairagya. On the surface, we may seem like renounced, but actually inside we have so much of attachments, so much of things going on. So we are contemplating a lot of things. So this is called pretentious. So this is called false renunciation or insufficient renunciation. We are not just there yet. So it's better than instead of struggling with this kind of renunciations, pacing back and forth. It's better for us to continue to engage in our material activities, but for the pleasure of Krishna. So in this way, we can purify our existence. So this is what Krishna is telling. This continuously working in devotion for Krishna is better than renouncing the work itself. Okay, so one, it is not possible. Okay, because we need to do work to maintain our body. Number two, it's not going to work if the renunciation is insufficient or false. Okay, so it's better to engage in devotion service where the result is guaranteed. Okay, so we have covered the first segment. Okay, which is better, renunciation or work in devotion. So now you know why the work in devotion is better. All right, so we're done with that. Now, how to perform this activity? How to perform the Nishkama Karma Yoga? Karma, work. Okay, Karma Yoga means work. Nishkama means detached from the fruits. So Krishna is going to teach us how to do that. Okay, I think we will cover 2 verses under this segment. So you can see, what picture is this here? What picture is this?
Water droplet.
Water droplet on
leaf.
what leaf
Are
is
they
that?
lotus leaf?
So what do you think, Prabhu? What does this picture showing?
It doesn't stick.
It doesn't stay. So what does that?
It will keep moving.
Okay, what else?
Detachment.
Detachment. Yeah.
Detached from the leaf.
Yes. Okay. All right. So before we go into that, we will see one verse. Yeah. Now, how to do this Nishkama Karma Yoga is explained here. 5.8 to 5.9. Dasaradan Prabhu.
Yes, Mataji. 5.8 Translation. A person in the divine consciousness, although engaged in seeing, hearing, touching, smelling, eating, moving about, sleeping, and breathing, always knows within himself that he actually does nothing at all. 5.9 Translation. Because while speaking, evacuating, receiving, or opening or closing his eyes, he always knows that the material senses are engaged with their objects and that he is aloof from them. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Prabhu. So this verse is in this verse, Krishna is describing about the activities of someone who is detached from the body, and instead of attached to the body, he's working for the Supreme. In another word, he is engaged in Nishkama Karma Yoga. Okay, this is called detached work for the Supreme. Okay, you are doing your work, but you're detached for the pleasure of Krishna. Okay, so the person described in this verse is doing many activities. Okay, and he knows that despite doing all these activities, he realizes, he is aware, conscious that these activities are being done by his senses. So he is, at the same time, he's conscious of everything. He's always conscious about his original position, that he is the fill in the blanks. What's his original position? Who's there? Are you all listening? What is our original position? What are we to be always conscious about?
We are soul, not body.
Yes, our original position that we are the spirit soul in this material world. We are the spirit soul, number one, but we are trapped in this material world. So work has to be done. Work has to be done, but with the right consciousness. Okay, so the sadhu here is Srila Prabhupada. Okay, he's a devotee, he's a sadhu, he's a renowned sadhu. I mean, he's sannyasi. The sannyasi generally doesn't have to do anything, but he still has to do many things to teach his disciples, okay, how to do things. He taught them how to cook, and Prabhupada spent a lot of time reading and writing, okay. He writes and then he speaks, and then he travels. He went around the globe 14 times. Okay, by the time he went to US, he was already reaching 70s. Okay, at that age, generally we want to settle down and just, sit and relax. But Prabhupada created history at that age, and he suffered 2 heart attacks on the ship on the way to US. So yet he continued reading, speaking, writing, traveling. He teaches all the disciples how to do worships, all right, preaching. He kept doing all these things. So this shows that devotees perform action. It is not that devotee will not work. He will work, but all his work results are surrendered to Krishna. So what is the difference between material consciousness and Krishna consciousness? This is a question to the floor. What is the difference? How do you distinguish these two, material consciousness and Krishna consciousness, by relating to the goal of the satisfaction? You understand the question? In both activities, we are engaging our senses. Okay. Expecting fruits of work, material conscious. Very good, Prabhu. You are very close. Okay. Can somebody add on to that? How do you differentiate material consciousness and Krishna consciousness?
Krishna consciousness is anything their action, they won't take the credit, they will give it to Krishna. And material they will take the credit.
For self. Okay, very good, Prabhu. Krishna consciousness, work in devotion without expecting the fruits. Okay, work in devotion without expecting fruits. Okay, great. Now, the bullseye is this. The senses engaged in material, with material consciousness, the senses are engaged for our own sense gratification, to satisfy ourselves. What is in it for me? What do I get from it? Okay, are you feeling satisfied? You feeling happy? Or it's so satisfying for you to do certain things. That is called material consciousness. But if you're doing so that Krishna will like it, Krishna will be pleased, then that is called Krishna consciousness. So this is the difference. Okay, so let's move on. Okay, so we have, okay, can somebody describe what's happening here? I want to hear from Sivaranjini Mataji. Is it okay, Mataji? Sivaranjini Mataji? Are you there? Okay, if you're stepping out, please drop a message so I don't call your name. Lakshmi Mataji, are you there?
Yes, Mataji, I'm here.
Betty, can you hear me?
Okay, Sivaranjini Mataji is back. Sorry, Lakshmi Mataji.
Sorry, I think the
Okay.
Okay, I'll call you next time. Sivaranjini Mataji, could you explain what's happening here?
I just left out for a while, Mataji, so it's quite
Okay, no problem. So we will hear from Kritika Mataji. Kritika Mataji, right?
Yes.
Okay, Mataji.
Okay, Hare Krishna, everyone. And I'm sorry if it's going to be a bit repetitive with what Kasthuri Mataji already explained earlier.
No
All right. Okay, so when we look at this shloka, right, there is 3 important points. The first is performing duty. Second, without attachment. And third, surrendering results. So
Mataji,
there are actually...
please read
Mataji?
the verse. Read the
Okay.
verse first.
Sure. One who performs his duty without attachment, surrendering the results unto the Supreme Lord, is unaffected by sinful action as the lotus leaf is untouched by water. All right. So as I mentioned earlier, there's 3 points in this shloka. And the first kind of person, he shows the thing that is mentioned in the first point, which is he performs his duty. But why he does that? Because he wants to enjoy the riches. He wants to enjoy the fruit. So he wants to wine and dine. And then the second kind of person, he's a combination of point 1 and 2. He performs his duty, but he's not attached to the result. And this is what we call a karma yogi. And in order for a person to become a karma yogi, he's not necessarily have to be a devotee. And a good example of a karma yogi who's not a devotee is Albert Einstein. I used this example from Kasthuri Mataji's lecture, actually. So Albert Einstein, he is a renowned scientist, and obviously he would have accumulated a lot of wealth, but he was not bewildered by it. He actually travels to work by bicycle. So it actually shows that he's unattached, right? And the third kind of person is a person who performs his duty without attachment and surrenders the result. So he's a combination of the 3 points. So when will we actually feel like surrendering? When there's devotion, bhakti. So that is the magic element, right? So how does devotion develop? When there's knowledge. So when we realize that Krishna is the proprietor of everything and everything is related to Krishna, so we will naturally feel like, okay, since everything belongs to him and everything that exists is a product of Krishna's energy, including our material body. So it's only natural to engage everything in the service of the Lord, meaning both the result of our duty and also ourselves, our senses. So you are going to do work and you're not going to be attached to the fruit. And when you surrender the results to Krishna by, for example, donating to the temple or buying flowers, books, and everything, Krishna assures us that there will be no sinful reaction because activities in Krishna consciousness is transcendental. So it does not have a material effect. And Krishna provides us the analogy of a lotus leaf. So as we know, lotus, its growth and sustenance is provided by water. But then when it grows its leaves, the leaves are not touched by water. Even when you pour water on top, it will just like slide down. So similarly, we are here in this material world, right? We grow up here, our sustenance is provided everything by this material world. But when we practice Nishkama Karma Yoga, Krishna assures us, like just like water does not stay on leaf, similarly, we will not be touched by sinful reaction. And I think that's actually very beautiful.
Wow,
Right.
that's
Thank you.
Thank you, Mataji. It's very nice. Right. I like how you categorize the three categories of the devotees. Mataji, can you like share that information with me? It's very nice how you outline those three types of karma yogi.
Sure, Mataji.
Okay. All right. So the example given here is very nice. Okay, just like the lotus always on the lotus leaf or the lotus always on the water. And when water falls on the leaf, the water will just roll off. Okay, like Mataji explained. All right. So similarly, when a person is doing so many activities, he's in Krishna consciousness, okay, detached from the results in devotion to Krishna, he is not going to be touched by any karmic reactions. So it's really a straightforward explanation from here. Okay, he is not getting any reactions because he is detached. He surrendered. One is detached, and next he is surrendered the results to the Supreme Lord. Okay, so the body itself is a material gross body. Okay, it is a gift from the Lord. So it is only fair for us to utilize this material body in the service of Krishna. Okay, it was given by him, so why not we just use it for him? All right, we can carry out any activities, and particularly in devotional activities, we can carry out particular actions. Okay, in that way, we can be engaged in particular actions that is Krishna conscious. Okay, so this is how we engage in Krishna consciousness. And because we are doing in that consciousness, we will not be contaminated by sinful reactions, exactly like the lotus leaf. Though the plant is in contact with the water, just like our body is contact with the material world, the material nature, the three modes of material nature, we are also in contact with this material nature, just like the lotus and the leaf contact with water. But just like they are not getting wet, we will also not be contaminated. Okay, so I can expand a little bit more on this. I'm not sure if I have given this example, my real life example, in this context. How are we going to manage if the activities that we are dealing with is actually contaminating in nature? Okay, in this world, no activities are so pure that will support our four regulative principles. Okay, right. If I may share, that beginning of my career, I used to recommend loans. All right, and when I newly took over from a person who was leaving, it's a poultry business, and the case is so big and so many files. I spent so many nights going through this, and you have to consolidate a lot of things, and you have to put in recommendation to show that how the business is thriving and what kind of revenue it's going to bring into the bank and what are we going to gain from there. And can you imagine, I have to write all of that. Okay, so I have to do it because that is the job. I studied for economics. I didn't study for a doctor or lawyer or whatsoever. So that is the best job that I could get, credit line. Okay, but later on when I got a beef transport business loan, transporting cows for slaughter. So that's it. I thought, because that time I was already few years, so I think I can, how to say, I can dictate certain things. So I said, could you not give me this case to me? I don't want to do it. I cannot do it. So, okay, they considered my request. They did not give me that. But how often I am going to evade this? I can't dodge the bullet so much, right? Because that is the business are coming into the bank, and that is where my salary is coming from. Okay, so what happened is that I gave up that front line and I went to audit. So even when I go to audit, I'm going to audit those papers that is coming through. So previously I was directly involved in it. Right now, later on, I was indirectly involved in it. So you cannot escape this. All right, you still have to work. So what happens is that when the knowledge comes into us, okay, how are we going to purify this, the survival mode that we are in? So this is how you earn, you give to Krishna, you earn, you utilize it for Krishna, your car, you're driving, you're traveling, you are helping devotees, you are inviting devotees to the house, you're serving them, and then you chant. Okay, this is important. You're chanting every day. All right. So you may not be able to serve the devotees every day. You may not be able to go to temple every day, right? You may not be able to preach to people every day. So one thing that you can do every day is the chanting and cooking and offering and taking the food, partaking the mercy that Krishna has given. So it's all that money that's coming from your job, right? You're engaging it, you're purifying it, and you're taking it. So in this way, you will not be this is how we will not be contaminated by the reactions. Okay, so even now I have gone to another department which is not directly linked to loan. Like I'm trying to dodge as much as I can, all right? But still, the entire income of the bank is coming from financing all these activities. Except I don't think RHB lending to alcohol and gambling. Okay, because it's a Malay natured bank. But the poultry is there. Okay, what else? Of course, there's no illicit activities also linked to banking financing. So definitely it's the poultry that will be the only issue for me. But however, because I'm trying to endeavor to engage all my work, my results in Krishna consciousness. So with that, we hope that there won't be contamination or minimized. Okay, so like this, you try to see how you can purify your existence, because we cannot evade this situation in the world that we are living in. So we want to remain as the water on the lotus leaf. Okay, right. So one who does work without attachment is like lotus leaf untouched by water. Okay, so this is what I always tell, try to engage in services to purify our existence, because we cannot renounce our work, definitely. And we cannot call the shots all the time. Okay, sometimes we are not in the position to call the shots. Okay, so this is the best we can do. Okay, so move on to 512. What is the result of people who engage in such activities, in that consciousness? Rajina Mataji, are you able to read? Okay.
Can Mataji?
Thanks.
Yukta karma phalam tyakva santims apnoti naistikam ayukta kamakarena phale sakto nibatyate. The steady devoted soul attains unadulterated peace because he offers the result of all activities to me, whereas a person who is not in union with the divine, who is greedy for the fruits of his labor, becomes entangled.
Okay, thank you, Mataji. Okay, so in this verse, Krishna is comparing the results of the work of devotees versus the work, those who are materialistic. Okay, the results. Okay, so here the picture 1 shows if you offer the results to the Lord, you will get peace, the family will be in peace. Because the only thing that matters to you is how to serve Krishna, how to please Krishna. Whereas in the second activity, people are more into how to satisfy myself, how to come out from anxiety, how to come out from stress. Okay, so they all are prisoners of this material engagements, getting entangled. Okay, so there is no satisfaction, no harmony, no peace or real happiness. Okay, so now this there's some points here in 5.12 here. There are 3 points. 1, engaging in these activities in a way that you're surrendering the results to Krishna, okay? Offering the results of all activities to me. You have no anxiety for the fruits. You're not worried about how the fruits is going to be. Or you're only worried about Krishna should be pleased. Okay, so in Krishna consciousness, the attachment is to Krishna. The body in bodily consciousness, the attachment is to the results. So this is the 2 distinct differences. Okay. Now, next is how the cause of anxiety is influenced by these 2 activities. So to function in concept duality without knowledge of absolute truth. So which means you're going to feel, am I going to feel sad or am I going to feel happy about engaging in this activity? So there won't be a question of this duality because your consciousness is about the absolute. Okay, so in Krishna consciousness, there is no duality. There is no happiness, distress. Okay, it's all Krishna's energy. Okay, it is all, it's called bliss, spiritual bliss. Okay, and this is not for self-satisfaction. Okay, it's all good. So all the energies with regards to Krishna is all good, as absolute as himself. Okay, and then that the secret of Krishna consciousness is that there is no existence besides Krishna, and that is a platform of peace and fearlessness. So you're not fear. You don't have fear when you do service for Krishna. Okay, so that is the some points from this verse. Okay, and the steadily devoted soul attains unadulterated peace because he offers the result of all activities to me. Whereas a person who is not in union with the divine, who is greedy for the fruits of his labor, he becomes entangled. So this is pretty straightforward also, right? Okay, it's also a revision sloka. So I'm adding a sloka from Nectar of Devotion. This is also this is again from Sri Rupa Goswami. Can we have somebody to read this? Somasundar Prabhu. Sorry, Saras Mataji haven't read, right? Saras Mataji, you can read?
I'll read. Okay. A person acting in Krishna consciousness, or in other words, in the services of Krishna with this body, mind, intelligence, and words in a liberated person, even within the material world, although he may be engaged in many so-called material activities. Thank you, Mataji.
Okay, thank you, Mataji. Okay, so this is also similar to this, right? Okay, he seems to be engaged in so many material activities, but he is inside, within himself, he's actually liberated. Okay, because he has that perfect knowledge that he's a spirit soul trapped in material world, and all his activities he has to perform as duties, but the result should be surrendered to Krishna. Okay, can you see this picture here? Who is this person? It's actually coming from a very illustrious family. Something got
He
to
looked
do.
like Radhanath Swamiji.
No, it's not Radhanath Swami Maharaj.
Okay.
Okay, good try, Mataji. Yeah, he does look like that. Okay. Siapa ni? Something got to do with cars. Tell me one famous name from car industry.
Tata.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. Hare Krishna Mataji. Fort.
Okay, yes, Mataji. So the other day, Vijay Prabhu and Param Prabhu came to the temple, and we had lots of discussion about various topics, including cars. So Vijay Prabhu, what is the one famous name that you can call in the car industry?
Mataji, there's a lot of famous car, Mataji. Which one need to say?
I don't know all of them. I only know one or two names. So, and if I know them, that means they are very famous.
There's already one person already. So, because I'm not familiar with the European cars, I'm only familiar with
Japanese cars only, huh? Okay.
Alfred
European,
Ford.
European Volkswagen.
What is that? Okay, I know like long ago, Mercedes was very old car, right? After that, there are some other
But
brands.
first was Ford.
Yes, that is what I'm trying to link here. That's what I'm trying to hint. Okay,
so he's a Ford owner.
Yeah, okay. He's coming from that family. Okay, so who is the founder?
Henry Ford.
Henry Ford.
The founder of Ford.
Yeah, Henry Ford.
Henry Ford. Okay. I'm not sure whether he is the son or grandson, but this is Alfred Ford.
Is the grandson from Mataji.
Okay, grandson. But I think he has actually relinquished his part from the business for some time already. So now he's a devotee. I'm not sure whether he's actively involved in the business, that I'm not so sure. He's initiated.
Mataji, sorry, I just Googled actually.
Yes.
Is he known as Ambarish Das in
Yeah,
ISKCON circles?
I was just about to say his
Okay.
initiated name, Ambarish Das. And this Prabhu, he's very instrumental in contributing to the coming up temple in Mayapur, the Vedic Planetarium, Temple of Vedic Planetarium, TOVP. So he has given so much of material assistance for the expansion of the movement. Okay, so other than that, we have other devotees who could be also working during their daytime, and in the evening or in the weekend, they go around selling books, and they also go for food for life service. Okay, so they will be engaged in so many activities, but they always come back to do service for Krishna. Okay, so this is how we want to be. Okay, all right, so we move on. The next segment is attaining liberation by focusing on the super soul. How, by focusing on super soul, we can achieve liberation. Okay. Okay, now we have Somasundaram Prabhu to share with us something on this verse. Prabhu, you read the verse first and then you can start sharing.
Yes, Mataji. The humble sages, by virtue of true knowledge, see with equal vision a learned and gentle Brahmana. A learned and gentle Brahmana, a cow, an elephant, a dog, and a dog eater.
Okay, Prabhu, you can proceed.
Yeah. So, a person who's in Krishna consciousness, he does not make any distinction between the different species or caste. The caste meaning in our system, there are 4 castes, the main 4 varnas, the Brahmins, Kshatriya, Vaishya, and Sudras. So, though they are from different caste, the person who's in Krishna consciousness, they see all these different people from different caste equally. So, though they are different from social point, they are seen in the same way. And among the species here, it is referred dog, cow, and elephant. Though they are from different species, they are seen equally. Though they are gunas, there are 3 gunas here. The cow is a sattvic guna, that is in goodness, whereas the dog, a rajas guna, passion, and then the elephant here refers to tamas, ignorance. But even the species, all the the species are seen equally by the person who is in Krishna consciousness. And then it also says the Paramatma is present in everyone's heart, and he sees this species and different species and caste equally. And Lord is equally kind to all the living beings, and he treats every living being as a friend. The bodies are made up of different material nature, but the soul and super soul within the body are of same spiritual quality. It says the soul is only present in that particular individual or the particular body whereas the Paramatma is present in everything. It refers to in each and every atom in this world. So, and it also says the soul and super soul, they are similar in the consciousness, the conscious, eternal, and blissful. Yeah, that's what I understood, Mataji.
Okay, very nice. Amazing, Prabhu. Thank you so much. Very nice. I like certain points how Prabhu like categorize it. Okay, like for example, Prabhu first is touched on Varnasrama, how we view people, how a learned person view people from these four classes as equal. So first, Prabhu covered based on social classes. Okay, so people in different social classes, we are viewing them as same. Okay, so that's Brahmana and outcast, they all come there. Actually, the below the four classes, right, we actually for this Varna Asrama, you have Brahmana, Satriya, Vaishya, and Sudra. Sudra are the working classes that serve there, the above three. All right. Now, there are some category of humans, they did not come under the Varna Asrama. They are actually called outcasts. Okay, so this is covered here, a dog eater. So they have not made it to that. They have not made it to that the system. They are not in the system yet. Okay, so once you are placed in the system, that is a gradual elevation. Okay, all right. So not gradual elevation. You are in the system, serving each other in harmonious manner. Okay, why it's outside of the system is because the animalistic life that they carry out. Okay, so that's another topic. So that they are not in the system. However, a learned Brahmana see the people in the Varnasrama system and outside the Varnasrama system as one. Okay, social classes. Second, Prabhu mentioned about the species. Okay, a cow, elephant, and a dog. Prabhu nicely explained how these different species represent different mode of nature, three modes of material nature: goodness, passion, and ignorance. Okay, so very good on that. And seeing everybody equally is crucial because Krishna is doing that. Krishna did not say, oh, I like this Brahmana, so I'm going to give him more food. Or this outcast is not nice, I'm not going to give him food. I'm not going to give him air. I'm not going to give him water. I'm not giving him a shelter. He didn't do that. He gives everyone equally. He treats everyone equally. He gives all equal facilities. Okay, so this is how we want to be. And Krishna is kind in that way. Okay, so nice, very nice explanation from Prabhu. Okay, so let me add on. A Krishna conscious person, he does not make distinction between species or caste. Okay, species, just like Prabhu explained. Okay, so we covered the Brahmana and gentle Brahmana, dog eater, and then we have different species also covered already by Prabhu. Okay, and why is not distinguished? Why it is not distinguished? Why are we not supposed to distinguish them? Just one reason only. Anybody can tell me.
Because Atma and Paramatma in one side. So every living entity, Krishna is there.
Correct. Because Krishna is present in all of them. They are all part and parcel of the Supreme, just like us. So it doesn't make us any more special than the rest of them. Okay, so Paramatma is a plenary portion of Krishna. Krishna can be understood through various under platform. One is Bhagavan, Paramatma, and Brahman. Okay, so as Paramatma, he expands himself into each and every living entity. Yes, all creations are part and parcel of Krishna. So this is the relationship that we have to acknowledge that all these living entities have with the Absolute. Okay, now such an understanding is the real knowledge. You cannot say this person is lower class because he is in socially, he is a different class. So he should be deprived of certain things. All right, so it shouldn't be that way. Okay, if Krishna can treat everyone equally, why can't we? Okay, and when we come to that platform where we can see everyone equally, then we have developed the equal vision. Okay, the living entities could be different in social class, forms of body, types of consciousness. Okay, Lord Krishna is equal to everyone. He is treating every living being as a friend, and he's maintaining them as Paramatma regardless of the circumstances of the living entities. Okay, so what is the basis of this equal vision? Number one, that all the souls are spiritually equal as a part and parcel of Krishna. Krishna is present in everybody's heart as Paramatma. Okay, and these bodies that we have, okay, it's a product of different modes of material nature. How we have come into the contact in material nature, the activities, it influences our bodies. Okay, all right. Another final one that Prabhu touched was the similarity of the quality of the soul and super soul. All right, so we can have Krishna's qualities, all of Krishna's qualities. We can have all of Krishna's qualities, but it will not make us same as Krishna because
we are conditioned soul.
okay, conditioned soul. Okay, what is it got to do with the quality that we inherit from Krishna? He's also our father, so we have some genetic inheritance from him. But what is the difference? You know, sometimes you have questions in SPM, STPM, right? Sejauh manakah ini adalah benar? Something like that. Sejauh manakah this factor has influenced this? Something like that. So first, you have to agree with the sejauh mana. You have to agree first. Okay, yes. But it is not entirely correct because of so and so and so. Okay, somebody has got the answer. Anybody would like to add on? This is very important, yeah. It may sound very simple, but this is an important point where the tattva that we follow under in Vaishnava Sampradayas, it doesn't matter which Sampradaya, under this Vaishnava Sampradaya and the Mayavada Sampradaya. Mayavada Sampradaya, what they say is, eventually we all will become one with God. That's one. Like you merge into him, that's one. Number two, we can also become God. If God can create, we also can create, and that makes us creator. That makes us be also God. You also can become God. You know, we have these famous philosophies, people are telling around, you are God, you can also become God, I become God, we are all God. So we have one point here to refute that. Anybody would like to say?
We got limitation.
Qualitatively same, quantitatively is different.
Very good. Yes. Okay. Qualitatively, we are same. We may inherit a lot of things from our dad. Okay. So like that, he's the super soul. A spark of it is in all the living entities. He's present in each and everybody body. All right. But we only inherit a minute quantity of that quality. Okay. So this is called Achintya Beda Abeda Tattva. Beda Abeda, oneness and difference. We are one with Krishna because we have similar qualities with him, but we are different from Krishna because in quantity we are different. Okay, this is very important, this fact. So please remember that, take note. Thank you, Kritika Mataji. Okay, yes, Lakshmi Mataji, human has defect. Yes, that's why, because we don't inherit the exact quantity from Krishna. Okay, all right, so we move on to 19. Okay, this is continuation of this equal vision, yeah? Okay, 5.19. Who can read? Who has not read? Would you like to read?
I'll read, Mataji. Those whose minds are established in sameness and equanimity have already conquered the conditions of birth and death. They are flawless like Brahman, and thus they are already situated in Brahman.
Okay, so there are, thank you, Madhuri. So there are 2 points here, 2 focus points here. One is, this is a sign of self-realization. When you realize, this is related to this one, yeah. When you realize that everybody is in the same position, equal, you will know that you have this equanimity of mind. And when you have this is a sign of self-realization. It's very easy for us to say, well, put you in a situation, if you can discriminate between people, then we have not passed the test yet. So we have to test us, introspect, and see, do we have this equanimity? Okay, so the importance of equanimity is that at in the beginning stage, we have already conquered the material condition of birth and death. This is the beginning of your step already, when you see everybody equal. Okay, so that's number 1. Number 2, how we can become like Brahman? When we become as flawless as Krishna. Because Krishna doesn't distinguish anyone. He's kind, equal to everyone. All right, so if we have developed this equal vision, the equanimity of mind, then we also become flawless like Brahman. And when we have developed that, we are already situated in the position of Brahman. Okay, Brahman means the you are free from all these differences. Okay, you are seeing everybody with equal vision. You are free from attraction, liking, hatred. Okay, so this will make us to be eligible for spiritual sky. So these are the prerequisites. Equanimity of mind, which will make us flawless as Brahman. So there's a picture here. Prabhupada never distinguish or never discriminate between rich elite people and the hippies. You know what is hippies? Hippies at those times, when Prabhupada started kirtan in a park, actually the initial people who joined them all were the drug addicts, the prodigal children, rich people, they're exploited, they went into drugs and all those activities. So they were attracted. So Prabhupada never say, oh, you are not eligible for Krishna consciousness, but he gave everybody equally. Okay. All right. So as what we mentioned earlier, Krishna is equal to everyone. Okay, in other words, he's impartial to everyone. Not only humans, he's also impartial to demons. All right. So we have this demon called Putana. She was deployed by King Kamsa to kill Krishna as soon as he was born. All right. So Krishna allowed, she wanted to feed Krishna her milk. Krishna allowed. And she wanted to kill him. Also, Krishna allowed. But the blessing in disguise is that because she was killed by Krishna, she also got liberation. All right. She had a reason why she came to kill Krishna, because in the previous life, she was the sister of Bali Maharaj. So in the beginning, when Vamana Dev came, Vamana Dev is Krishna's avatar in Vamana pastime, he'll come to ask for the 3 steps of land, if you all remember this pastime, right? So very quickly. So when Vamana came, Lord Vamana came, Vamana Dev looked so adorable, so cute, so beautiful, that Bali's sister was actually so mesmerized with the beauty of Vamana Dev. And she was so mesmerized that she thought she wanted to feed him her milk. But later, when the situation unfolded, right, that she realized that this is Lord Vishnu who has come to take the land from Bali Maharaj, she was very angry. She got very angry. Oh, you came to take the land from my brother. I wish I could feed you with poisoned milk. All right. So in the next life, she became Putana. She fed him milk and she fed him with the poisoned milk. But Krishna satisfied her by taking her milk and also giving her salvation. So this way, he has awarded the position of mother to her. All right, this is an important sloka which we'll cover later in chapter 9 I envy no one. No, I am partial to anyone. I am equal to all. But there is a second part to it. How he shows special attention to devotees. All right. But other than that, he envies no one. He is not partial to anyone. He's equal to everyone. Okay. So this is the story. Oh yeah, the second part is here. But whoever renders service unto me is in devotion, is a friend, is in me, and I am also a friend to him. So there is a one step ahead for the devotees. Otherwise, Krishna is equal to everyone. She wanted Krishna as son. Okay, this is in the previous pastime. At the end, Krishna awarded position of mother to her. She wanted to kill, but at the end, she was killed. Okay, so this one very simple, short story. Okay, so if this is also a revision sloka from our level 1. So I can go through this very quickly. Can somebody read this verse for us, please? Who has not read? Anybody would like to go again? Param Prabhu?
Okay, Mataji. An intelligent person does not take part in sources of misery, which are due to contact with the material senses. O son of Kunti, such pleasures have a beginning and an end, and so the wise man does not delight in them.
Okay, thank you, Prabhu. If I may ask the floor, do you all remember these pictures? What is the first picture here?
Is it lava? No?
No, it's a lamp post. It's a light.
Lamppost. Oh, with the insect.
Yeah, and then the insects all drawn towards the light. So
Okay.
anyone can explain this? Kritika Mataji, could you explain just this picture?
I'll try, Mataji. So I think this 5 pictures is actually about 5 senses. So in the first picture, it's sense of sight, I think. So they are actually attracted to the light. So that's why we actually see, like, there's usually seasons in Malaysia where suddenly there'll be lots of this light puchi, I used to call them. So they get attracted to the light, but then eventually it actually causes their death.
Okay, so actually the light is just for a picture here, but what happens is that when there's fire, it's bright and beautiful, the insects will be drawn.
Yeah, will get killed.
Yeah, so that's how they'll be killed by the fire, because they are attracted to the light. Okay, so it's very nice. Next one, deer. Anybody remembers? What is the strong sense of deer? The strong sense of insect is the eyesight. How do you call it? The fall down of the insect is because of their eyesight. And what is the cause of fall down for deer?
Smell.
No. Smell is another animal. I know why you say deer, because we get the perfume from deer. Actually, it's not that.
Huh?
Yeah, you get perfume from deer, right? The musk. So that's different. That's a different angle. Now, what could be the cause of fall down for a deer? Okay, let me put this way. What can captivate deer? The sound of flute, horn sound. So they will lure the deer with the sound of flute, horn, and will captivate the deer. So the cause of fall down for deer is its hearing sense, the ears. Okay. Next, we go to elephant. What is the cause of fall down for an elephant? What is the strongest sense is the cause of the fall down? Yes. Okay. The elephant is drawn, can be easily drawn towards a female through this. Actually, it's a smell.
Scent.
Yes. Smell of the body of a female elephant. Okay. So that's how they trap elephant, and then the elephant will be captured. Okay, it's actually skin smell together. right? Sense of touch and sense of smell. But the sense of smell is more relevant for bee here, the bee here. Can somebody explain this? What happens to the bee? How a sense of smell can cause downfall of a bee? So this is
Normally trapped inside
It
flower.
will be trapped inside the lotus flower
Okay, why?
because it is attracted to the smell of
Colour
the
also.
lotus flower.
Yes. Apparently, the lotus have very nice smell, very strong smell. So the bee will go into the lotus, it'll start taking the nectar. But what happens is that by dayfall, the lotus will close, it seems. All right. So the bee will die inside the lotus. So that is the downfall of a bee due to nose. This is eye, this is ear, this is skin, this is nose. This one, and the last one here. Who is this fella? What happens to him? Okay.
On a
What's-
fishing line.
Okay. What happens to him? Now,
He
vision is
saw the small fish there, want to eat it.
okay. So what is the sense that causing him to go and eat it? You can see how many senses we have covered already. How many senses we have? And how many we have covered already? Yes, sense of taste. It wants to eat. Okay, so tongue. Fish eats the bait and get killed. All right, you click the bait. Okay. All right, so that's it. So we can move on. Okay, so all this we understood already. Okay, so but these senses, if you engage in these activities, it will not cause our fall down. It will purify our senses, and by developing better taste for Krishna consciousness, obviously, we can discard all the lower tastes. We can get rid of the attachment to this vicious cycle. Okay? All right. So the vicious cycle of what? First, you want to get a bike, a cycle, and then you want to get a bike, and then you want to get a car, and then you want to get better car, and faster car, or more powerful car. So like this, we are developing our desires according to our sense enjoyments. We want to feel it, feel the passion. Okay? All right, but what can be understood from this, all these activities here? It's important here, yeah. How the senses can put us into dangerous situation. All right. So one is temporary. Okay. The result from these activities are temporary. Number two, they have a beginning and end. Okay. And they come like two sides of coin, happiness and distress. First, there'll be happiness followed by distress. And then the happiness comes and then distress comes. So if you notice how our life cycle has been, there's always distress, happiness. So this is what Krishna said in chapter 2, text 14. This happiness and distress, they come and go like change of season, summer, winter seasons, keep coming and going. Okay. All right. So we have to tolerate that. So now how we engage the senses in the right way? This way. Okay, we try to satisfy Krishna's senses, not our senses. So when we do that, our senses will be purified because all our activities are carried out through our senses, right? Okay, so how? Let's go with tongue first. Tongue, definitely everybody loves eating. So we are engaged in tasting the remnants of food stuff offered to Krishna. Eyes. Okay, eyes by seeing Krishna, the beautiful deity form of Krishna, the beautiful decorations. All right. Ears, of course, whatever we all doing now, we are hearing the topics of Krishna, the glories of Krishna, the greatness of Krishna. Okay. So the other day I was listening to Prabhupada's lecture. He was saying everybody can say that God is great. Okay, God is great. I understand that. But this philosophy is giving us how great is God. And that is where we make the difference. Okay, we want to know how great is God and how great is Krishna. Okay, in what ways he is great and how much is that great. So we want to know more that. So through hearing, we can do all this. Nose, how do you engage your nose? You smell the flowers offered to Krishna, the incense that's offered to Krishna, right? Touch. How do you engage the sense of touch? You chant, right? You touch the beads. Okay. So Bhaktivinoda Thakur has said, when you roll your beads on your finger, you imagine that you are pressing Krishna's toes, right? Every mantra you are submitting to his little toes, your prayers. Okay, and other ways is you engage your sense of touch is by decorating him, painting him, putting on ornaments on him. Okay, if you don't have deities, you decorate the altar. All right, so all this you're engaging your senses. So these are all the ways you engage your senses. Remember, we were talking about we have to do work because by engaging our senses, but at the same time, we don't want the fruits. We want to surrender the fruits to Krishna. But how to surrender? You have to work. So how to work? All your senses are engaged in this manner. And one person who engaged everything in his life is king. What's this king's name? The name also came. This is Ambarish Maharaj. So earlier we already run through his pastime pretty detailed, right? Okay, so let's move on. We have a few more. Okay, can we have somebody to read this? Dasarath Prabhu. Okay, Lakshmi Mataji, yes.
Okay, Mataji. Those who are free from anger and all material desires, who are self-realized, self-disciplined, and constantly endeavoring for perfection, are assured of liberation in the Supreme in the very near future.
Okay, thank you, Mataji. So again, remember the flawless, that is also continuing here. We should be free from the dualities. We should be free from anger or material desires. And by being this self-realized and self-disciplined, we need to constantly endeavor for perfection. So for this kind of people, liberation in the Supreme is guaranteed. Okay, free from anger and material desires, self-realized, self-discipline, constantly endeavoring for perfection. So it's a continuous process, not 1 day, 2 day, 1 week, 18 days. It's not that, or 21 weeks. It's a continuous endeavor because the Maya's influence is very strong. The onslaught of Maya is, the Maya is very strong. So we have to keep endeavoring it. Then only we can withstand the onslaught of the Maya. Okay, all right, so this is Vishnu Sahasranama. This is to show that as Paramatma Krishna is seeing all our activities, he sees everything and he especially notices the activities of his devotees. Okay, so this is how he notices devotees' activities or how he maintains all the living entities, just like all these animals maintain their offspring. These animals, they lay eggs and they are not around the eggs. Sometimes they are not around the eggs. So it is said that in Padma Purana, fish bring up their offspring by vision, by looking at them. And turtle, they lay eggs on the land, but they live in the water. So how do they bring up their offspring? They are not like chicken, they sit on the egg until it hatches, right? So they don't do that. Okay, so for tortoise, they meditate. While in their water, they meditate on the eggs in the land. And the birds, they maintain by touches. All right. All right. He says that by vision, by meditation, by touch only do the fish, the tortoise, and the birds maintain their offspring. Similarly, do I also, oh Padmaja. He say, I also do that. I don't have to be physically present there to bring up all these living entities in the world. I can do all of this too. All right. So how a devotee is doing this? So a devotee is meditating on Krishna. It's the exchange. Krishna is taking care of us by various ways, and we are connecting to Krishna through our remembrance, through our hearing, through our chanting. Okay, so we can do this too. Okay, so we are done all of these. Okay, final peace formula. Can we have somebody to read, please? That's Radha Prabhu. Okay.
Yes, Mataji. 5.29 translation. A person in full consciousness of me, knowing me to be the ultimate beneficiary of all sacrifices and austerities, the supreme lord of all planets and demigods, and the benefactor and well-wisher of all living entities, attains peace from the pangs of material miseries.
Okay, thank you, Prabhu. So this is a revision. So we shall call this as universal peace formula. Three things, yeah? Everything belongs to Krishna. I will bring a verse from Isopanishad later to support this. Number two, everything is meant for Krishna's pleasure. He is the beneficiary. As a benefactor, he provides everything. As an enjoyer, we give him everything. Lord Krishna is our best friend, not only to us, to me. Okay, he's best friend for everyone. Okay, so this is the, if you have this understanding, then we will attain peace. Try this. I've tried 1 or 2 times. It actually does give peace. The only thing is that we have challenge that we forget. Okay, we forget, we get carried away, we get drifted, but try this. Whenever you're in a situation, always think this. He is the ultimate beneficiary, he's the benefactor, he's the well-wisher, and we will attain peace. So we will not think it's done because of us. These things are happening because of us. We try to control a lot of things. So this is very important. So you should just print and stick it somewhere, on your workstation or something. Okay, so let's move. I've also asked some questions in the group sometimes, right? What is this verse about? Okay. All right, this is the verse from Isopanishad. I'm adding here. Why we think that all these belongs to Krishna, it is supported here. Everything animate or inanimate that is within the universe is controlled and owned by the Lord. One should therefore accept only those things necessary for himself, which are set aside as his quota, and one should not accept other things, knowing well to whom they belong. Important, right? We need to know this. Okay. So I put one very simple understanding here. What is karma? What is karma yoga? And what is bhakti yoga? So karma is you doing the work for yourself. You have potatoes, you want to eat it, you take it, you peel it, you cut it, fry it, and you eat it. Karma yoga, remember, detachment from the result. So I want to eat the potato. I take it, I peel it, I cut it, I fry it, I offer to Krishna because it says Krishna, we have to offer food to Krishna and I'm going to eat it. Because the point is, I want to have potato. I want to eat something. Okay. But Bhakti Yoga is, remember, Bhakti Yoga is satisfying Krishna's senses. So I want to please Krishna. Oh, Krishna will like this. And you have got some potatoes. You take it, peel it, cut it, fry it, offer to Krishna, and you eat it. So what is different here? What is differing here from this stage to this stage? Potato is the same. You are eating at the end. What has changed here? Potato hasn't changed. Cooking process
Karma got Krishna, don't have Krishna, Bhakti got Krishna.
Okay, what else? What is that? It's only one word. What is the difference between all these three?
Intention, maybe.
Intention, very close. Yes, Mataji, you are very close.
Bhakti.
Okay, what is that? The intention, the
Please,
bhakti.
Krishna.
Okay, please Krishna. Also, all these are subsets.
Devotion.
Devotion, yes. What's all that? What they come under?
Service.
Okay, actually the answer is here on this slide. The word is here.
Offering.
Offering is the activity.
Bhakti.
Okay, what else? What has changed? What has changed? The goal has changed. So what is that
Serve
goal?
Krishna first, then take it.
Okay, I'll give you the answer. What has changed here is the consciousness. Okay, here the consciousness is for us to enjoy. Here, I want to enjoy. But Mataji said,
just give to Krishna.
Enjoy the result directly. So I offer to Krishna. Okay, ultimately we are the enjoyer. But finally, the consciousness is Krishna must enjoy.
Please, Krishna first.
Yeah, so the consciousness has changed. See here, Krishna consciousness. Okay, so I'm going to leave this recap here. Otherwise, we're going to go overboard already. The Babas, 15 minutes. We'd like to invite you all for Janmashtami. It's a 3 days festival. It starts with the day before. We have a lot of service. Actually, the service starts on the 5th for flower decoration, and we are told to invite a lot of people to come and help. Okay, so don't worry, we will teach you. Just have to bring your scissors, your tools, things like that. And on the 6th, the decoration continues, the vegetable cutting and all those services. Actually, today we started all the gotoroyon. Today we started everything. And then the festival is on the 6th. And we are told to bring 10 people. One person bring 10 people. Okay, so I'm inviting all of you to come because it's Krishna's birthday. So we are inviting guests for the birthday party. And there are a lot of activities arranged for the kids, for the youth on the stage. And also there are booths for the youths to preach. And then we have Prashadam Hall. We have lots of goodies sold at the temple. And we would like to invite you all to come. So bring your friends and family. Okay. And so it'll be a nice moment for you all to come together for this grand birthday party after all this pandemic and everything. So nice to have everyone back together. Okay, this is the itinerary. Sorry, Balaram Purnima is over. Sorry, this is Janmashtami, yeah? Okay,
Yeah.
so this is the agenda. Okay. All right, and then Balaram Purnima, Vijay Prabhu and Param Prabhu came, so very happy to see them. Okay, and this is the drama by the children, Brahma, Vimohana, Nila, where Brahma kidnaps Krishna's friends. So you can see this in a drama form. Okay, and this is a sponsorship list. If anybody would like to contribute. Okay. Yeah, after Janmashtami, I think there's a repeated poster here. After Janmashtami is Prabhupada Vyasa Puja. So that's a half-day fasting and there'll be feast for lunch. So that's why I say it's a 3-4 days festival. Okay, so that's about it. Any questions? Thank you so much, Prabhu. So next week will be after Janmashtami. So hopefully we are all okay to have class. Okay, so I would like to tell that initially I didn't want to put out name lists, because I wanted to have class no matter how many. But last week only 2 people came, so I felt it's also logic that maybe this is a wedding season, so it's understandable. So I will continue to give out the name list, so you all please key in. And because I spent few hours to prepare the lesson, so I would want more people to come in and engage in the interaction. I mean, when you interact, it's also inspiring for me to speak, all right? And also you can discuss or ask questions, you can clear some questions immediately, and you can engage in the readings and, all those things. Okay, and I'm also, actually the temple is not subsidizing our Zoom, and it's my own pocket money. So every cancel class, it's still paid. So if you're going to cancel and postpone the class, we're going to drag the duration, and which means I have to continue paying, which actually I have no problem because I have another class also. So this is why I want to have the name list, and we can have a good number of turnouts for a very meaningful class. We can discuss, interact, okay? And we can inspire each other that way. Okay, and September 15 onwards, I will start class with the other 2 batches, go by sections. For example, one section may have 3-4 verses, so we will cover like that. Okay, so I discussed with my Guru Maharaj. He says the verse by verse will take very long time. So we'll go by section. So we have got his blessings as well. So looking forward to that. So anybody's free, you can join on Friday. I'm sorry, I can't have weekday classes because we are all working and I'm working in KL. It takes me an hour to come back. Okay, and I also have to prepare for the class, which I cannot do it during work time. So weekend is the best. Okay, so thank you, everyone. If no questions, I'm so sorry to keep you all
Mataji,
waiting so long. Yes, Prabhu, Vijay Prabhu.
for example, if we try to engage in Krishna consciousness just due to because of our emotion we couldn't control, and due to our emotion we commit sins, how it can be calculated under Krishna consciousness? Is it because we try to commit, we try to engage in Krishna consciousness, but due to challenge, but from that we lost our consciousness, we commit sins already. In that particular matter, how it can be calculated?
You mean you're already on the spiritual path, but there is still distractions and diversions, and you we commit
Yeah.
sinful
sin.
activity.
For example, we commit sin already. In that matter, how it can be calculated?
Okay, so if we realize that we have committed something wrong or not aligned with the principles, we should, first of all, we should repent. We should repent. We should be we should regret of our activity. We should repent, and we should pray to Krishna that you don't want to do that anymore. You don't want to be in a situation. We don't want to be in a situation for us to do that again. So what should we do for that? Our chanting, our prasadam, our association is very important. Okay, so we take inspiration from that, and we try not to go to that again. Because if you're going to seek forgiveness and go and do the activity and then come back, seek forgiveness and go, come back, so it's not going to take us anywhere. Okay, so we don't do that. We repent and stop. We repent and stop, or reduce. So it's I was listening to Prabhupada's lecture yesterday. He was saying there is no problem. When we start this path, the progress is upward. There is never downward. But only thing when there is speed bumps and you get diverted and you fall, we call it fall down, right? But there is every chance for us to come back because we have done some sort of service, we have some sort of reading, hearing, and chanting. They will come back. This one I just recently heard. So we don't have worry on that. Okay, we like past is past. Every saint has a past, something like that. Every sinner has the future. So the consciousness here is that we don't want to do sins on the strength of the holy name. Knowing that the holy name can absolve us from the sins, we don't want to do the sinful activities. Okay, never mind, I can go back and chant to absolve my sins. So we shouldn't do that. So other than that, we repent, we regret, we promise and determine that we will not repeat it. That's how it is, Prabhu.
Thank you, Mataji.
Okay, yeah.
Thank you, Mataji. Good night.
Okay, Hare Krishna. Thank you,
Hare
everyone.
Krishna, Mataji.
Thank you, Mataji.
Hare
Krishna, thank you, Mataji.
And have a wonderful Krishna Janmashtami.